Yesterday, the State Department began the process of coming clean about what occurred in Benghazi. Contrary to early assertions by the administration, let's understand, there was no protest. And cameras reveal that, and the State Department, the FBI, and others have that video.
Although the chairman claims we are pursuing this investigation on a, quote, bipartisan basis, that has simply not been the case. The chairman has withheld documents that were provided to the committee, which is in violation of the House rules.
The RSO struggled to obtain additional personnel, but was never able to attain the numbers he felt comfortable with.
This afternoon, serious questions about the safety of American personnel overseas being raised at a hearing on the September 11th terror attack in Libya. Former head of the U.S. military team in Libya testified before the House Oversight Committee that even before the attack that killed Ambassador Stevens and 3 other Americans, the consulate in Benghazi never had the forces needed to protect itself. Comes a day after the State Department said it never concluded the deadly attack was triggered by that anti-Islam YouTube video. This despite the fact that UN Ambassador Susan Rice repeatedly called it spontaneous. Meanwhile, in Libya, the president's top counterterrorism advisor, John Brennan, met with the Libyan president today and discussed the effort to track down those responsible for the attack. Of course, this is an election year, so there's certainly politics to all this. Democrats say they've been completely left out of the Oversight Committee investigation. Being led by Republican Chairman Darrell Issa. Mitt Romney has recently made the Libya attack a focus of his criticism of the president on foreign policy. So let's put this through the spin cycle. First, a little bit of context. I think Darrell Issa would have a lot more credibility here if he hadn't spent the past 3.5 years trying to make any sort of scandal stick to the president. He was the guy behind Fast and Furious, Solyndra. He was also the one that put together this all-male panel on contraception. So the idea of him conducting this sort of nonpartisan, unbiased investigation is just ludicrous. Second of all, we should point out that Republicans actually cut $500 million from embassy security funding, and Hillary Clinton actually said at the time that that could be detrimental to Americans' national security. So they are not without fault in all of this. But to the political point, I think that this message, the foreign policy attack on the president for Mitt Romney, has had some legs. And yes, I know this is an election that's about the economy, but a pollster actually did a test of Mitt Romney's messages, several of his messages, and the one that had the most resonance with independents was actually his critique of the president on foreign policy. Let's take a listen.
He said the developments in the Middle East are bumps in the road. Yeah, that was my reaction. Bumps in the road. We had an ambassador assassinated. We had a Muslim Brotherhood member elected to the presidency of Egypt. 20,000 people have been killed in Syria. We have tumult in Pakistan. And, of course, Iran is that much closer to having the capacity to build a nuclear weapon.
Now, these messaging tests were before the latest Romney reboot, so he may have some more resonant messages, but that was literally the only one that moved the needle at all with independents.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still skeptical of the idea that foreign policy will literally move voters in this election either way. I see, though, a real political risk here for Obama because of the timing of this. I don't know where the investigation is going. I'm as curious as anybody else to finally, get to the bottom of this. But I think in terms of the politics, what this sounds like in the headlines, the noise this is generating in the news media is, controversy, wrongdoing potentially by, someone involved in the administration, maybe general incompetence. That's sort of the theme, the possibilities that are being raised here. And it comes at a time, I talked about this in the last segment, of these media narratives that get constructed. All year until about a week ago, Obama was seen as basically the inevitable winner of this race. Romney was sort of seen as the hopeless loser. That, at least temporarily, those narratives are shifting right now. So when a story like this comes along and Obama is starting to suddenly be portrayed in a much different light than he has been all year, I think it has the potential to magnify what has been a problematic week for him in terms of press coverage.
You're absolutely right. It's a problematic week. This adds on to that. It does not help. The Libya situation does not look good for the administration at all. That's absolutely true. And Darrell Issa's not just aiming his political guns at the president, he's also firing at Hillary Clinton and trying to muddy up her record as a Secretary of State looking ahead to 2016. But I gotta think that the narrative of Obama as strong on foreign policy is cemented in Americans' minds, and you can't just easily knock that out. And Romney is doing everything he can to fail the commander-in-chief test, including the widely panned VMI speech, which many people are saying was ridiculous and fanciful, and he tries to portray himself as a latter-day George Marshall when he's actually a transcontinental laughingstock. That's going to have an effect. Every day that Romney spends on foreign policy, I think, especially in an economy election, is a day lost.
Well, look, I'm not going to politicize this. I know it has political implications, but whether Obama was up for re-election or someone else was in the White House or the election was a year away, this is an issue that will have serious consequences for months to come, and it needs a serious look. And the only timeline I think that matters to me is the one that I've been laying out. Look, I've been on State Department phone calls. I've talked to Jason Chaffetz. I've talked to Libyan counterterrorism officials, talked to folks in the U.S. at the State Department. The timeline that matters is one of negligence, incompetence, and duplicity. Negligence in failing to secure our assets in Libya, and Nancy Pelosi's comment that Republicans are to blame has been resoundingly dismissed as disgusting. The incompetence over the rollout of the media narrative with 7 different agencies saying 7 different things about what this was tied to. The State Department yesterday saying that it never thought it was about a video. Meanwhile, 9 days later, the president is out saying that it was about a video. And then duplicity. Susan Rice was not telling the truth. She has not been telling the truth for some time now. So whatever the ramifications for Obama or Hillary or Darrell Issa or Romney are, I think is secondary to the fact that al-Qaeda is not going away, terrorism isn't going away, and we need to find out how this happened and how it can be stopped.
That's a really heavy and unsubstantiated claim that you just made about Ambassador Susan Rice.
Oh, she's not telling the truth. I'll say it to the camera. She has not been telling the truth. I'm not the first to say it. She is not telling the truth.
Essie, I don't see what she could gain from lying about this. I mean,
oh, there's plenty to gain. You laid out all of the political implications of what's to gain.
That's completely unsubstantiated to call someone a liar.
It's been substantiated. She is not telling the truth. And the proof is that the State Department and now the administration are saying totally different things than she is.
Essie, a mind reader. Straight ahead,
it's the truth.
We go west. Colorado Senator Mark Udall joins us in the guest spot talking swing states and that race-changing debate.